Folks, in this video, we're going to be servicing Peanut, the little skid steer. If you notice anything that I could do a little bit better, please post your comments. If you have any suggestions, or if I did something wrong, let me know. I know you will.
I ain't afraid of work. I ain't afraid of play. I ain't afraid to get the job done and do it my own damn way. I ain't afraid of life. Times like this. If you mess with my freedom, I'll tell you just what you can kiss. That's right.
Hey there, folks. This is Josh, Stoney Ridge Farmer. Welcome back to another awesome day here in the mega shop on the Stoney Ridge Farm. We have some work to do. We have some wrenching to do. So this is the Gale RT210. We call it Peanut, and I use it around the farm all the time. We've got several farm tractors here on the Stoney Ridge Farm. However, this is the best machine for moving earth. So a farm tractor is good, but an earth moving machine is much, much better. So come along today as we learn a little bit. We'll work with this piece of equipment. We're going to show you guys all kinds of cool stuff. We're going to be changing the oil, changing out a hydraulic filter, fuel filter, checking our fuel system, and also stick around to the end. We're going to show you how to change the oil in the gearbox for each individual track. So that's probably the most complex part of the entire video. So stick around to the end and we're all going to learn something and have some fun today. All right? All right, folks, welcome to the Stoney Ridge Farm channel. If this is your first time here or your 50th time here, please hit that like button. Consider subscribing to the channel. We've got everything rural lifestyle here. We're on a first-generation farm here in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains in North Carolina. And this is the mega shop, and there's a lot more to come on building out this mega shop. The building just went up probably 2 months ago, and I'm having fun. Definitely loving having this shop. So this is the Gale RT210. It has a Yanmar diesel engine. I think it's approximately 64 horsepower. It's due for service, and we're at about 400 hours on this machine. Typically, you'll service it about every 250 hours for the minor stuff, like an oil change, and for the major stuff, like hydraulic fluid changes, gear oil changes, and stuff like that, we're looking at a every 500-hour service interval. Now, we also check the oil in this thing every time before we get ready to use it, and I use this machine on the farm probably more than any tractor on the farm because I'm always moving earth. When you're building a first-generation farm, you need something like this to move earth. The TYMs are great for farming, gardening, batwing, mowing, all sorts of stuff. You'll see some footage of those things at work. Those are awesome machines, guys. I really stand by the TYM brand. So Gale is what folks might call a, not the most, how do I say this? Not the most popular brand of skid steer that you see out there. You just don't see a lot of Gale units. Again, this is a Yanmar diesel engine in it. We've got a little handle to pull right here. We'll show you guys how everything works. Very easy, very accessible. This locks back into place. Our oil filter, and we're using all Wix oil filters today, all Wix filters total. Oil filters there, hydraulic filters there. Our fuel water separator is right here. We're going to be draining out any water that might be in our fuel, and that's just something that fuel picks up. Diesel fuel picks up water. It comes out through that tube. And right back in there is our primary fuel filter, okay? So we've got all those filters. 1, 2, 3 filters to change. And also, if we step around here, we're going to be checking our air filter, of course. If you step around here, we've got gear oil in this gearbox right here. We've got to clean this up really good. We've got to pop the plug. We've got to drain it out. And this has to be in the down position. It is on the other side of the machine. So that's what we have here. This holds approximately 1 quart. And this is a every 500-hour service that we definitely have to take care of so that our machine lasts as long as it possibly can. We all know that oil is the lifeblood of our machines and maintenance is the lifeblood of our machines. So when we get done, we're going to put labels on everything and make sure that everything is appropriately marked so we keep this machine serviced. Again, I've only had it about 6 months, maybe 7 months, something like that, and I've only put about 100 hours on it. But it's time for me to start fresh with a good fresh service, and that way I know everything that's been done to this machine from now on. And this is never gonna leave the farm as far as I'm concerned. So this is all the stuff that we're gonna be using today on the channel, maybe a few other things. We're using Chevron Delo diesel engine lubricating oil, Delo. This is going to be a 10W30 synthetic, and this is Lucas Oil Synthetic 75W90 gear oil. That's the gear oil that's gonna go in those little gear boxes on the side. We've got premium filters here from Wix. We also have a premium XP Wix filter designed for full synthetic oils. We've got an oil container because we don't want to pour a 5-gallon oil bucket over into our oil reservoir. And we've got something that I don't see a lot of people using, tub of towels. If you guys don't know about this, this is the best stuff for cleaning your hands. We've got a little glass cleaner and stuff in case we need to wipe anything off, and some good blue shop towels. Today's day sponsor, we've got a day sponsor today. This is Soundcore. This is my jam box for my shop right here, guys. I will post a link to this critter down in the video description. It is absolutely awesome. It's a Bluetooth radio that will absolutely fill the shop. It fills this entire space. It is a rock star. So check that out. I'll post a link down in the video description in case you need something. This is a waterproof deal, so I'm taking it to the beach next week too. Cannot wait. Here's something that I use on the farm to make life easy for me. Oil change supplies, guys. So right here, there's a quart of oil sitting up here. Inside this box are all the things that I need to change the oil in any of my vehicles, from rags to funnels to different types of filter wrenches, all sorts of stuff. And we'll be using this filter wrench, I do believe, and probably 2 other different types of filter wrenches. Sometimes with big tractors, you've got to deploy countermeasures, and sometimes I'll have to use this big boy right here. So this is oil floor absorbent, floor dry, and again, those tub of towels, guys. I'll post a link to tub of towels along with all the rest of the goodies that we use. This stuff is awesome, and this stuff is awesome. They're not sponsors of the channel. That's just great stuff that I know that works. So this machine's been sitting in the shop. We're gonna go ahead and start it up and let it run for about 5 minutes. So we've got a little peanut right here warming up. We're gonna warm it up for about 5 minutes right here. Again, this machine only has 377 hours. I'm going to set my next service interval for the 500-hour mark so that I can stay on the 500, 750, 1,000. I need to stay on that mark. So we'll change the oil a little bit more frequently for these first couple changes just to make sure that we have it right on the mark and I know when to service it. I'll put stickers from my label maker inside the cab so that every time I start this machine, I'll be reminded when the maintenance needs to be done. 500 hours for the hydraulic system and the gears, 250 hours for the engine oil. Cool. So we got 377 hours right here. Our temperature is 107. So we'll just reach back here, turn it off. That's it. Now you guys heard that belt squeak a little bit. We've got a little belt adjustment that we're gonna have to make. This is just kind of routine maintenance stuff for this piece of machinery. Again, it's the lifeblood of your machine. So let's get busy. I think first thing we're gonna do is drain the oil. While the oil is draining out, we're gonna go ahead and do the fuel water separator. That's really, really simple stuff. Gotta remove this pan. Oh, we're gonna get some dirt. Oh, okay, this isn't uncommon in a skid loader. Just a little bit of dirt down there floating around. Dust over time. Probably need to take this machine and get it good and cleaned out. Get right in there and take our oil drain plug out. Gonna break it loose. Oh, a gorilla got this one. Oh, there it is. 11 quarts. Uh-oh. Perfect. Gotta get my secondary drain container here. Not the biggest fan of that container that I currently have. There we go. I always love to make a good mess right in my new shiny shop floor. Yeah, we'll let that do its thing. We'll go ahead and get the filter off. So this is our oil filter. It's an 80mm oil filter cap. That's what we're gonna loosen this with, and some gorilla put this thing on. There we go. We also need to know that our drip is not gonna drip all the way into our pan, so we've gotta get something under here to catch that oil. We're just gonna take our Wix oil filter box, put it right there, so it drips down into the oil drain pan just below. Loosen this guy. Oh, gosh, it should only be hand tightened. Some gorilla got a hold of this. As this oil is leaking out right here, I'm gonna take my rag and I'm gonna clean the surface where our filter is gonna match up right here. This is our new oil filter. It's an XP for synthetic oils. I'm just gonna take a little dab of oil, put it on my gasket right there, and screw it on. Okay, we've got it hand tight. I'm just gonna go another quarter turn with my filter wrench. That's it, she's ready to go. Next thing we've gotta do is we've gotta empty our fuel water separator right up here. This is a fuel water separator for the tractor, and in here is another fuel filter, okay? We'll reach up, turn off the fuel, and then we'll turn on our fuel water separator to drain all the water out. Take this hose, tuck it back in there, hand tighten that, and then we'll move on. So back in here is our fuel filter, guys, and I cannot film removing that. I've got to get a wrench on the bottom of that, unscrew it, and then replace the fuel filter. We will refill it with fuel before we replace it, and then we'll get up here and we can show you exactly how the hydraulic filter system works. I can't get in here. It's too daggone tight for me to get in with the camera, so bear with me. The owner's manual calls for hand tighten and then give it 3/4 of a turn, so that's what we'll do. Somebody before me has really done a number on over tightening all the filters and all of the drain plugs. All right, we can get it by hand now. I do have my drain pan right down here. There she is. Very nice. When you refill your new fuel filter, be sure you fill it up. Wait just a second because it's going to absorb some of that fuel, and then top it off, okay? We're going to slide this back in very carefully. Next, we're going to go up. We're going to change out the hydraulic filter. Very, very simple. Then we'll put the cap back on and refill with oil. And then we'll go to the most challenging part, I think, which is going to be those hubs. Got to turn our fuel back on right there. And here's our hydraulic filter. Somebody did not get the memo on how to not over tighten. Oh, good gracious. Oh. Perfect. Good gracious. Come on, baby. Whoever did this should be smacked. Man, that was a challenge to break that guy loose. Okay. 51483. 51483. Have to be careful here so we don't lose our hydraulic fluid all over the place inside this machine. This again is the low pressure side, but we're gonna drip a tiny bit. Out she comes. Just like that. Oh, hydraulic fluid filterectomy. Just like before, we're just gonna take our rag here and wipe everything clean. Take our filter, we're gonna wipe a little bit of oil right on there and snug this guy down. Now, a hydraulic reservoir will fill this up, okay? So according to the manual, I do not need to fill this hydraulic filter. Manual says, tighten it down, hand tight, come in with our filter wrench, give her 3/4 of a turn, and she should be good to go. So here's our drain plug with a nice clean rag. I'm gonna wipe this guy off. Nice lint-free rag. Make sure we're clean as a whistle. And I'm gonna go up top here and I'm gonna wipe around where the drain is also. So that's clean as a whistle. Just gonna gently snug this guy down. Not like before where some gorilla had it. Slip that guy up there. Something that's instrumental on the farm right here. This is a 4-quart oil transfer jug right here. I'm going to pour, it takes 11 quarts. So basically, I'm going to pour 11 quarts into this. You cannot take, or I guess you could take this 5-gallon bucket and try to dump that in there, but it's just not very bright. It's just not very smart. So we'll wipe this off, blow it off, make sure we don't get any trash into our transfer container, and then we'll pour in our oil to transfer into the machine. Here's our oil filler. Set that guy off to the side. Put our funnel in. And we're gonna need a longer funnel. Hence the reason I have the oil change bin. So I can just go grab this stuff and go with it. We got trash in that, I need to wipe it out. $11 quarts in, and we are right on the mark. Now we're gonna move on to the hub right here, and that should be pretty simple, pretty fun job. But if you've never done it before, it can be a little bit on the challenging side, both mentally and physically. Judging by everything that's been done here so far, that is gonna be pretty tight. This is our hub assembly. This is a drain plug and a fill plug. This is the plug that we use to know when it's full enough, okay? We're gonna use, as recommended by the factory, SAE 75W90 gear oil, synthetic, Lucas. It recommends Shell, but Lucas is what I could get. So without further ado, we're gonna crack open the drain. Hopefully it is not absolute gorilla tight. Nope, there we go. Woohoo, a little pressure in there. That's interesting. We're gonna crack this open also. Very nice, came loose pretty quick. Okay, get our drain pan over here. We can expect right at a quart to drain out of this. Should be thicker. Yep. Shouldn't take long to drain either. Go ahead and loosen this up so it gurgles on out a little bit faster. This could be intimidating if you've never seen anybody do it. Tractors have hubs on them just like this. The skid steer has hubs on it. All the lubrication points on here are very important to maintain and keep up. So the next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna roll the machine forward just a little bit to get the other side matched up so we can drain it. Then we gotta roll forward and refill, and I'll show you exactly how we refill everything here. Very, very simple, and thank goodness Lucas gear oil comes with this little tip, which is gonna make life so much easier for us. Takes plus or minus 1/10, 1 1/10 quart. So 1 quart will get this job done. What we want is that to be right here so we can drain it. Now that we started it up and moved it forward, we need to check the oil one more time just to make sure that the oil level is correct. Second oil check. Boom. Right on the money right there. Guys, in case you don't know, if you check the oil in a machine that's been sitting for a while, you don't have to wipe it off. If you are checking the oil in a machine that has ran, you need to pull it out, you gotta wipe it off, drop it all the way back down in the dipstick hole, and then pull it back out, and then you will read whether it's full or not. Cool? Pro tip. Same thing, pop this guy loose. Good gracious. Another gorilla got this one. Come on, Bubba. There it is. Ooh, she was pressurized. Put my drain pan underneath, just like so. Drain our gear oil out. Loosen this guy again, and we're actually gonna take this, we're gonna wipe it off. Set her to the side and wipe every surface off that will be sealing. We're going to put gear oil in until we see gear oil come out. We're running out our fill hole right here. It means we're good to go. Wipe it down and we'll keep an eye out for leaks. All right, so we'll repeat that process on the other side and we are ready to rock and roll. We're ready to go back to work in this machine. I'll take my label maker And again, it had 377 hours. I'm gonna put the next service at 500 hours, and that way I'm on that 500 and 250 hour service interval. I think this is awesome, guys. I appreciate you. One more thing I'm gonna check. I'm gonna pop open the air filter, make sure that's good to go. I actually checked that about 3 weeks ago just to make sure. And there's a warning air restriction light inside the cab right there, but you can't depend on the idiot lights all the time. That's how you blow an engine. So guys, thanks a lot for joining me here on the Stoney Ridge Farm. Hope you enjoyed this video. This is how you service a skid steer. And I don't care if it's a track model or if it's a wheeled model. If it's a track model, it'll have the hubs. If it's a wheeled model, it may have a different type of hub, but now you know how to service it. And next time we do it, we're gonna change out all the hydraulic fluid. We're gonna change out the fuel filter cartridge in the inside and do everything that we just did once again at 500 hours, so not too far. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time on the Stoney Ridge Farm. Please pound that like button, jump in, subscribe to the channel. I'd love to have you back. Woo!
Well, come on down to the Stoney Ridge. Bring your wife and bring your kids. We're living life pure and sweet. That's the way it's supposed to be, Stoney Ridge. Woo!
If you'd never seen anybody do it, burp, thank you. I'd love to burp. We'll move on to our fuel filter after knee surgery. So on the and we've got to do a little cutting right here. First we got to do a little cutting.
Sure would like to have some oil on the face. Woo! Wee, this would be fun.
Daddy was a dummy. Look at this mess. Oh, great. This is just fantastic right here, bud. All right, camera.